Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the farm. The day has finally come. We are coming back to get Jean and Grace. It's been a little over 6 weeks, and I'll give you the update on everything that's happened and where we are. So, if you remember, Grace got bred one time. Jean got bred one time, and then Grace got bred 3 times. Jean would only stand the one time. She wouldn't stand anymore, and so that's why she only got bred once. The first time he tried to breed Grace, she wasn't ready to stand, so she kicked the stallion and fought a little bit, but after the third, bringing her around the third time, she finally stood, and that was on Monday night. And then on Wednesday night she got bred, and then on Thursday night and on Friday night she got bred. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The vet came out. Had to think about it for a second. My timelines are going to get a little bit mixed up. I looked at my notes, but I'm going to mix up my timelines a little bit, and I don't know the exact terminology of everything, so I'm not going to say some stuff that's going to be correct. I'm not a breeder. I don't intend to be a breeder. I don't pretend to be a breeder. I'm at the breeder's farm. So if I say something incorrectly, just roll with it, okay? 99.9% of you know exactly what I mean when I say it, but some of you just have to get on that keyboard and say blah, 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 blah. So the vet came and ultrasounded Jean. They could not get his ultrasound machine. He's got a really nice ultrasound machine, and they could not get it dialed in. So they had some blurry images, and they just could not see exactly what they wanted to see. So they got her ultrasound machine out, which is about half the price of his machine, and it doesn't have all the options and all the features on it that his does. And they still couldn't see what they wanted to see. So her ultrasound came back inconclusive. So she was supposed to have come back in a couple of days, which was a Friday night, I believe. And she ended up not coming back. And she sent a text and said, I'll be there Saturday. Well, she ended up not coming Saturday and said, I'll be there Sunday. And he gets very frustrated with his vet, and the vet is the only, apparently, this is from what I'm being told from him, is the only vet down here that does equine. So she has the monopoly on the area, so you don't really have a choice to say, well, she didn't show up, so I'm going to call him because he's more reliable or whatever. And that's why she can say, I'm not coming today, I'll be there tomorrow, or I'm going to be there the next day, because she knows you're not going anywhere because there is nowhere else to go. So it's very frustrating for him, which is why he went to ultrasound school and got his own ultrasound machine and learned how to do all that type of stuff. So when she said she would be there Sunday, he said, don't worry about it. Grace is going to need to be ultrasound on Tuesday, so just wait until Tuesday. In the meantime, he had called the ultrasound instructor and said, hey, I need to FaceTime you because my machine isn't right. So they got together on Monday morning on a FaceTime call, and the instructor looked at his machine and said, well, you don't even have it set up right. These are the adjustments that they need to be. Now get your phone out and take a photo of that. And that's the way it needs to be set up. And he said, okay, well, stay on the phone with me while I ultrasound Jean. And so he ultrasounded Jean with the instructor on the telephone. And the guy said, that mare's not pregnant. And so that was the conclusive of the inconclusive ultrasound from Gene the previous week. So he got Felicity, the baby. I don't know who those two, I think those are the two sisters over there. And then there's another one over here, further over. And then my two girls are behind the babies. So anyway, that was Jean's conclusive ultrasound that she wasn't pregnant. So then she ended up coming out. She's supposed to come out on Tuesday. She came out on Wednesday. She said, I'm not coming. Showed up on Wednesday, did the ultrasound on Grace. Grace's ultrasound, what do you think? Came back inconclusive. Couldn't find the embryo. She said, I'll be back Friday. Look at that baby, he's rubbing up on his mommy. So she said, I'll be back Friday. She showed back up Friday. They did the ultrasound and they determined that Grace wasn't pregnant after the 3 breedings. So now he's thinking, is my stallion fertile? My stallion was fertile last year, so why wouldn't he be fertile this year? So he called over to Alabama, talked to Auburn University, and said, can I get my stallion over there and let's pull some samples and, do a sperm count. And they told him to do some stuff prior to that. So I'm frustrated at this point. He's frustrated at this point. I'm frustrated, but he's upset, frustrated, embarrassed, all of the above. And now he's like super worried that, I'm putting all of my money and all my resources and all my time in this stallion and, what's going on. So I'm ready to come down and get Gene and Grace. They've been down here for 5 weeks now, and I'm ready for them to come home. So he says, look, so I'm looking at the calendar, and I said, look, here's the deal. I said, Gene should be coming back into heat next week. Grace should be coming back in at the end of the week. Or Gene should be coming back in now, and Grace should be coming back in at the end of next week. And he said, why don't you leave them with me and let me breed them again on their second heat? And after I get them bred, then you can come and get them, and then you can take them to your vet, Dr. Zoe, and let Dr. Zoe do their 14 to 16 day pregnancy ultrasound. I know she is well versed in ultrasound. So that was what we decided to do. So what ended up happening is Jean should have come back in that week, but she didn't. And he was ultrasounding her, and her follicle was there, but it just wasn't getting big. I don't know what the measurement is of a follicle. I don't know if it's done in a millimeter or a centimeter or if something else, but I know that the number they use is 50. So the follicle is a 50, and that's an average follicle, 45 to 50, and sometimes bigger, up to 55 or so, is a follicle on a draft. And when they get that big, that's when they're about to ovulate. So let me turn you to this. So that Jean's follicle was a 37, and it grows 5 on average every day. Again, I don't remember if it's centimeters, millimeters, or some other measurement. In any event, he got her bred 3 times. He got Jean bred 3 times. Where she wouldn't stand previously. And he thinks what ended up happening is he got her because he couldn't get a good ultrasound on her, and he was not getting a good image. He thinks that she stood, not willingly, but she did stand for the breeding one time, but he thinks that he was premature. He was early. But I think what happened is she was coming into heat, but she came down here and got around all these mares and got around new feed, new smells, new sights, new sounds, and all of that, and it just really screwed her hormones up. So he thinks that he ended up doing it too early. I think he did it at the right time, but I think her hormones were all screwed up. But who knows? In any event, she didn't come back into heat for 4 weeks after her original breeding. And she had that 37 follicle. He ended up getting her bred 3 times. And so it was Friday night, and then it was Sunday night, and then it was Tuesday night, I believe. Or it was Saturday night and Monday night and Wednesday night. That's what it was. It was Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. So then after he did that 3rd breeding, he checked Grace. And Grace had a 37 follicle. So now here we are on Thursday. Yeah, we're on Thursday now. Grace has got a 37 follicle. Well, he is leaving to go to Vermont on Sunday, today. He's got to get his wife back home to Vermont because they only summer here and then they winter up there. It's where they're originally from. And they've got a nursery up there. I don't know who runs the nursery when they're down here during the summer, but I think it's mums is what it is. And they've got an 8-week selling season, and they got to get up there and get those mums out and get them shipped. So he was carrying his wife up there, leaving this morning, driving for 2 days, and then he's going to fly back to Atlanta on Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, something like that. So he's got a local girl that's coming over here and taking care of all the animals. But he didn't have time to really mess around with Grace, and Grace was coming into heat. So he went and got an ovulation shot. Not the name of it, guys. I understand that's not the name of it, but that's what it is. It's a shot that you give to the animal which causes her to ovulate. He said this is what we do when we artificially inseminate a horse. We overnight the semen in, and when we overnight the semen in, it costs $180 to overnight that semen in, and it's not as potent as fresh semen because it's been cooled or frozen. And so when we put it in the horse, it only lasts for 12 hours maybe, or maybe 18 hours. Again, I'm not a breeder, but it doesn't last as long as fresh semen, which lasts 48 hours and sometimes longer. So they give the ovulation shot, which after you give it, it causes her to ovulate X amount of hours after the shot is given. I don't know what that hours is, but he decided he was going to give Grace the ovulation shot on Thursday night. Told you I was going to get my timelines a little bit messed up. I think he gave her the ovulation shot on, maybe he gave it to her on Friday night. That's what he did. He gave it to her on Friday night. I apologize, guys. Gave it to her on Friday night, bred her on Friday night, and then checked her yesterday with the ultrasound. Checked her yesterday after lunch, and after lunch, she had already ovulated. He saw a CL where the follicle had ruptured and released the egg, and he saw that already. So when that egg was released, it was released into the semen, in theory. Now, the ultrasound instructor said maiden mares, a maiden mare is a horse that's never been bred. Mine were maiden mares. Their cervix typically isn't open on their first breeding. So you have to do a vaginal exam and make sure that their cervix is open. So when the vet was out here, she checked Jean, and determined that hers was open. And I'm assuming that he checked it on Jean and Grace as well, but I never got a report on that. So that's where we are. 6 weeks and 3 days they've been down here. A lot has transpired. And we are really hoping, one of my viewers out there, you know who you are, told me that when she would take her Arabian, her and her family, her husband, whoever, she referenced they, when they would take their Arabians to the breeder, they never got bred on the first heat. They always got bred on the second heat. So she didn't reference their Arabians being maiden, but when I was talking to the breeder down here, the breeder's never done maiden horses down here before. He's always done, his horses that have always been bred. Now, he did get on his forum, Facebook chat group, Instagram, Twitter, whatever they all are, and talked with all of the folks that he had been in ultrasound school with, and they all said they were having difficulties getting the maiden mares bred this year because I guess they were all attempting it. So that's where we are. So I gotta hook up the trailer, and then I gotta go out here and get these girls. Hopefully they remember me. I'm gonna show you Felicity and her foal. And he has always got somebody here with him to help him open the gate and close the gate to get the girls out. I'm down here by myself, so I don't know how I'm going to get one out and not the other. And hopefully they'll load up on the trailer okay. So I know that was a long introduction, and I am sorry, but I wanted to give you the update on everything of where we are. There's my girls right out there. I'm gonna go hook up my trailer, back my trailer up to the barn, and try to get them out one at a time. Here's Felicity, and there's her baby over there standing under the tree. And my girls are straight through there. The little colt isn't gonna let me get a picture of him. He's trying to stay out of the rain. He ain't liking that rain too much. He's a good looking little buddy though. Well, he's long legged. Looks like a giraffe, man. He's so long. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's good looking. Felicity just over here getting her grass. I think the girls are recognizing I'm here because they got their ears erect and they're looking at me. Okay, so I can just take them right out of here. It ought to be easy enough. I thought they were way over there in that back corner. Jeannie, Grace, come here, baby. Hey, sugar. Hey. Gracie, come here. Jean, come here, honey. Jean, come here. Gracie. Oh, they're mad at me. They don't want anything to do with me. You left me down here for over 6 weeks. We're mad at you. They look good though. Gracie, come here, honey. Come here, Gracie.
I'm gonna have to do some bonding with these girls for a few minutes, and looks like he's just got the gate tied. But let me see if I can get him to remember me. Hey, baby. Don't bite my hand, baby. Come here, Jean. Grace. Gracie, come here. Oh, you didn't get that, honey? You guys are biters. Why are you biting? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't want to get shocked by this thing. Let me untie this. I don't know why they're biting. They normally don't bite. Watch out. Gracie, come here. Yeah. You okay? Gracie, do you remember me? Hey, Hey, do you remember me? They got lots of flies on them. Hey, baby. Hey. Hey. You guys remember me? You remember me? All right, I don't know how. I guess I can unhook the fence right here with this electrical cord, and I guess I can tie them up to the gate over here, one of them, and then bring the other one over. That's all I know to do, because if I try to take one out, then the other one's going to come out. But I know this fence is hot. All 4 lines are hot, and I think the best thing to do, like I said, would be unplug the fence and then tie Grace up over here, take Jean with me, and then come back and get Grace. I might be able to tie her up without undoing the fence. We'll see here. Like I said, he's always got his wife here, and his wife can take one of them. Hey, what are you doing? Come here, baby. Gracie, Jean, move. Move, Jean. Jean. Come here. Ooh. think she's starting to remember me. They're rubbing up on me. Back, back, back. Jean broke the lead rope. See if I can make this work. Come on. Come on. Easy, easy, easy. Come on. All right, I got Jean on pretty easy. Let's get Grace. Come on. Step up. Step up. I gotta shut this gate, Gracie. Come on, Gracie. I guess nobody's in here, so I don't need to shut the gate. Let's go get Grace on the trailer. Tying the gate closed with the rope's not the way I'd do it, but that's fine. Both of the girls loaded up fine. Jean was a little hesitant, but she loaded great, and Jean walked right on, or Grace walked right on. So let's get on the road, and I'll see you back at the farm. Well, guys, we are back at the farm. It was an uneventful trip coming back. Going down there, I went through a horrendous thunderstorm. Got a notice on the GPS saying thunderstorm warning, and it got dark, like 8 o'clock at night dark. Rain was coming down. Trees were blowing, branches were blowing down, cars sliding off the roads, flooding on the roads. A power line fell and the power lines crossed the road, and I mean, it was just a mess. And right before I got to his farm, it let up. And then I left coming back home, and I went through it just a little bit, but not like I did on the way down there. But the girls, I had to get the barn ready with some oats, and Jean was really kicking in the trailer to get out. The boys were really curious, and got everybody into the barn. The boys wanted to go see the girls, but they wanted to see them through the grate. They didn't want to go up behind them. And then when I let Jean and Grace ate their oats just like that, and when I got done, I brushed them real quick, and then I got done with them, and I let them out, and they went over to the baby stalls, and the babies started gumming in a submissive posture. So I let everybody out. And the funny thing was the colts were chasing the girls, and they chased them around the pasture a couple, 2-3 times, chased them into the barnyard, and they got them cornered in the corner of the barnyard. And Jean and Grace said, "All right, we've had enough of you guys chasing us." And then Jean and Grace reversed the roles. So for the most part, they're getting along. Okay, you see Jean is showing some dominance over Titus. And Grace was showing some dominance over Max, and she tried to kick him. Jean just tried to kick Titus just now. But I'm really surprised that 6 weeks and they've already forgotten each other.
but only a couple hours, and they'll be right back to where they were. I really needed to brush Max because he's matted from the rain that we had, but I'll do it tomorrow. I just wanted to get him. I brushed him with the soft brush, but I need to brush him with the main brush to break up all of his hair. But the girls are really slicked out. They look really good. And the boys are going to go back to doing what they do, just hanging in the rear. Hopefully they'll keep up with, you know, letting me progress with them and stuff. You see, Titus isn't comfortable enough to graze with them, and they're comfortable enough to let him graze with them. Max is still just kind of looking around. But I'm glad to have him home finally. 6 weeks and 3 days. So in 2 weeks, we will get him ultrasounded and we'll see what the end result was. They're either gonna be bred or they're not gonna be bred. And I'm not gonna worry about it until the day we do the ultrasound. So that's it, guys. As always, remember who you are. Be kind to those around you. Stand up for what you believe in.